Welcome back to the channel. Today, working on a freaking monster truck. Didn't think it was gonna fit in the shop. Y'all check this unit out. Sick OBS, four-wheel drive, got the 38s on it, big dogs. This thing is massive. So what are we doing? Yeah. Ball joints, front end work, pinion seal. Yeah, on this monstrosity. Gonna be fun. Also, it's got some drivability stuff, some AC stuff. When it's cold, it doesn't want to stay running. You got to keep it running in or out of gear. Got to keep feeding it throttle input to get it running. AC compressor's been took off, and there's a delete plate. He wants me to put the AC back on. What else? I think that's about it. Pretty cool truck. Customer of mine bought it for his son. This is a 16-year-old's first truck, y'all. I don't know about that. What do y'all think about that? That's to me, 16-year-old kid. We're here in North Georgia. We're rednecks. Whatever you want to say. This kid, first couple weeks driving by itself, in the mud hole. Y'all want to bet? I bet you. I bet you he calls his dad in the middle of the freaking night. Truck stuck. All his buddies' trucks are smaller. Can't get it out. So anyways, I'm rambling on. Anyways, let's hit the intro. We'll get into ripping this thing apart. All right, I got this rig up in the air and started checking her out, and actually the ball joints and stuff, like moving this wheel, pretty solid tight. Like everything is really ball joints, and I got to looking, they've actually been replaced. So I think to get it to drive better, he's probably going to be, I think the ball joints were in the toolbox. Maybe the previous owner had them in there or something. He's worried about how it drives, and it's got a 38-inch tire and all this kind of stock small steering stuff, which is probably not ideal. I'm not a big lifted truck guy, but like I know that stuff seems awfully small, and it does. When you have a really large tire, you get a lot of play in the steering wheel, and even when you're moving the tires back and forth by hand, like this stuff is kind of, you know, you definitely got way too much tire for the steering, and I'll address that with him. This truck is huge. It's got like a 6-inch lift and a 3-inch body, and I see a spacer, so it's probably like a 7-inch lift plus the body. But I will show you one problem I did find. The pinion seal leaking. It's leaking pretty bad. Well, yeah, I don't think it's supposed to move like that. Can you tell? I know it's hard to pick up on camera, but the whole pinion flange is loose, and it's, yeah, see, I'm rocking it. So let me pop the drive shaft out, pull this flange off, see what's going on under there. Okay, I popped the drive shaft off, put an impact just real quick with a socket on the pinion nut, and it is tight, but I'm trying to get where I can show y'all this, but like it's, see how much that moves out when I turn it? This thing is not good. So we're going into the diff. So I'm gonna get in touch with the customer. He'll be happy. He doesn't need ball joints, but we're gonna have to go into the diff. Buy some, I see some markings and some fresh silicone, kind of freshish, red silicone. Hate that stuff. So kind of telltale signs somebody's been in this diff. We'll probably have to go behind him and correct whatever's wrong. But all right, right now I'm gonna have to drop it back down, and I'll hook the scanner up and see about his check. It's got a check engine light, and it runs like crap when it's cold. I hate diagnosing this OBD1 stuff. It's so tough. I don't work on it all the time. I don't work on it a lot. I don't like it. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get him fixed up, running good. Okay, so I was able to put codes pulled on it. We got a TP circuit code, which is kind of what I was thinking, because it's super rich, and the throttle's not very crispy when it's cold. So I'm gonna get in here. These things were super bad about wearing the throttle body out and give you some erratic TP readings and stuff like that. The shaft that runs through is the twin blade throttle body. There's a shaft that runs from the top up here from the linkage all the way down and spins the, I had to get a flashlight. I'll take this off and show you in a second, but and then is engaged with a TP sensor down there and actually turns the sensor as you turn the throttle body. These throttle bodies are bad to wear out, cause vacuum leaks, stuff like that. So let me pop these intake tubes off, pull this cover off, and I'll see what we got going on. See if I can show y'all down here. Can you see the TPS like right there? It is saturated with oil, Looks like it's been leaking out of the throttle body maybe, or just, yeah, it's, the sensor itself is, see if I can get you guys a better, there we go. Yeah, see that? It is actually dripping with oil. See that? Yeah. So that's going to be the first place I start. I think we're going to put a TPS on it. The throttle body does seem tight. Like I told you guys, these things are really, really bad to wear the blades out, and not the blades, but the pivot that the blades go on. This does seem, you can usually crack them and just move them back and forth if they're bad. Yeah, usually once you crack them, you'll feel like play in the, this feels pretty good. I think we can fix it with the TPS sensor. I'll make note on something on this drive shaft length. I think this drive shaft needs to be a little longer. This truck has a really big lift, but I want you to see, so you can tell the shiny part and where this seal has been riding most of its life. Well, I've got it, this is where the seal has normally, so let's slide the shiny part in, so we know our seal for most of its life was living about right there. Now look how short the drive shaft is. Sure, the rear end's at some droop, but it's not at that much droop. And if you'll look at the shackle, once this rear end goes up, it's going to go even further back. Because come back here, Maddie, show them. So the leaf spring shackles are laid flat like this, okay? So when the rear end goes up, this shackle is going to stand up, which is effectively going to pull the spring back. The one thing you guys with your huge lifted trucks might want to note, even if the kit doesn't come with it, this drive shaft needs to be extended because it has probably from there to there. Now come look and see how much of this actual slip yoke is exposed. So that's a good couple of inches of spline engagement that we now do not have just to get it out here to the diff. So that's going to cause some vibration and just all kinds of stuff. I just thought I would note it when I was taking it apart because I see this a lot with lifted trucks. This drive shaft needs to be longer, or it needs a spacer, which is quick and easy, a spacer on this. That way, the truck could be put back to stock or take some lift out. If you modify the drive shaft, and if you change the lift or go back in the future, you decide to sell the truck, you don't want to sell with this huge lift on it, and another drive shaft made. Not ideal, but the easiest thing would just be to get a spacer. I've seen them many times, put a spacer on here, take out the difference. Anyway, I thought I'd just show you that. Let's get this, dang it, this bolts are sticking in my socket. I think my 13 swivel's about wore out. Get this diff cover off of here. I'm seeing all this orange sealant. I don't know why, but I absolutely hate that crap. It's usually, sometimes, not always, but a lot of times the orange sealant is Part Store Hero or something like that, Driveway Hero, not a big deal. I just don't know, I don't like it. I don't like the way it smells, and it always leaks. I never use it myself, so I don't know if it's application error from other people, but for some reason that orange silicone, the orange and the blue, y'all stop using both of them. Cover is off and it is not looking so hot. Can you see all that metallicness that's showing up on camera? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got a soupy, metal soupy mix. So this thing is open diff, one wheel peeler. Look, you can see how loose the pinion is. Look where it's been hitting the carrier. That's tooth marks from this pinion being so loose it's deflecting over there and hitting the carrier. Okay, so let me get the carrier popped out, and I'm anxious to see what's actually going on with this pinion, like if it's the bearing, or I feel like somebody might have forgot to put the, you see that in there, y'all? See how much that pinion is wiggling around? So yeah, let me get the carrier popped out. We'll take this center pin out, slide the axles out. This probably ain't gonna be a whole full-blown tutorial diff build video. If you want that, go back and watch my video on my buddy's 99 F-150. That's a pretty in-depth one, but yeah, let me get the axle slid out, carrier popped out, and we'll see what we find from there. I expect something, a missing crush sleeve or just a smoked bearing or something. We'll see. All right, let me show you this real quick. I had my screwdriver wedged in there, locking my carrier down to loosen this center pin bolt, and it's already loose. So yeah, that's not good. Hopefully it's not loose because it's broken. These things are bad to break. and just the thread, you'll pull the threads out and the actual pin will still be in there, but I think I see the pin turning in there. Yeah, so that was definitely finger tight. Definitely somebody been in this thing. Slide your center pin out. Then you can just grab the axle, slide it in, push a C-clip out, slide the axle, C-clip out, slide the axle out. Now I can just pop the carrier out of it. All right, here's the carrier out. Don't see anything too alarming, not really looking for any issues there. Definitely has fresh bearings. Okay, popped the pinion out, and this bearing, I'm trying to wipe it off, is, look how loose the cage is. Like it's worn so bad that it's worn the rollers on the cage down. This thing is cooked.
Cooked chat.
Cooked chat. Initially inspecting, it looks like that crush sleeve has had the crap crushed out of it. I bet it's been somebody over, I assume that probably it got over tightened and it killed the bearing. Here's the race from that bearing. Look at that, that is killed. Should be nice and shiny and smooth like that, but we got a heck of a divot in there. So, no big deal. We're gonna put a fresh set of bearings in. I actually already got them coming from the parts store, so I'll probably, we'll clean this housing up. I'll pop the axle bearings out because they probably had debris ran through them, and go from there. All right, I just got my bearing kit. We're gonna go ahead and get our pinion bearing pressed on, get our pinion totally set up. That's the first thing I generally do when I'm going back together. Cut our pinion bearing out of here. Is get the pinion in the housing, then we can move on to the carrier and so forth. So yeah, there's our inner and outer pinion bearings. This kit comes with a new nut, new ring gear bolts, adjustable side shims in case you got to do some shimming, which there's a good chance we will. So, okay, let me get race driver out, and first thing we'll do is go ahead and get the front bearing installed. Race, bearing, simple deal. We grab my race drivers, we'll drive this race in the housing, get our pinion seal in there, and then press this on there, and we can put our pinion in the housing. Got my front race drove in, I got the bearing, I got the little oil slinger in there. I'm just gonna kind of okay, we're all set up on our front bearing. I put a little bit of trans gel on it, so we're in there. So now, press our new bearing on there, then you can drive the race in. Don't drive your inner race in the housing yet because you're gonna need it to press your bearing on. Now, we're gonna just simply press our new bearing down on here. You see I've got the race on the bearing. I'm using it so I don't damage the actual bearing itself. I've got my shims on there already. I just transferred the old ones. What I generally do, if it's not, because it was probably fine till it wasn't. If we got to do some re-shimming, then we will, but it's generally safe to swap your original pinion shims from under the bearing to your new pinion, and you'll be really close. Especially if it was a setup that was previously fine till it wasn't, then most likely your numbers aren't going to be crazy far off. So there we go. There's our bearing pressed on. Now we can take the race, knock it in the housing, and then our pinion will be ready to go in. Race driver, get it started in the housing. Started in the housing. Try to start it pretty straight. And that ain't straight at all. There we go. Come on now. There she goes. She's straightening up now. A little off center. Okay, we're just gonna try to Get our pinion started in here. Sometimes it's kind of tricky to get through the front bearing, but if you can just get it, yeah, there we go. Engaged in the splines on the flange in the front. Start our pinion nut. Okay, I got my pinion assembled in the diff. I'm going to just run this nut down until I take up all the slack in the crush sleeve, and then we're going to start working on getting our crush sleeve crushed exactly how you want it. It is a workshop procedure, torque wrenches, angle meter, angle finders, all that kind of stuff, or angle gauges to measure your exact crush and preload on your bearings. I hate to be that guy, but let me tell y'all, I done built about, I don't know, what do you think, Matty? About 500,000 rear ends probably. So calibrated trigger finger gets it done. If I had them coming back all the time and I was eating pinion bearings, I'd probably stop doing it that way, but I've been doing it this way for, I don't know, I've been working on cars, let's see, I'm 45, so I've been working on cars for a living for about 50 years now, so yeah, we're good. Okay, did y'all see and hear in the video how visually my impact on my socket slowed down once it found the crush sleeve? We're at the crush sleeve, we're both bottomed out. Still got play. So, also another problem I have is this chrome socket might not drive us all the way home, but we're gonna get there. It takes a while. I may have to get a pull handle and wedge the flange under here and literally pull it down with a slow motion to crush it, but usually the old Ingersoll Rand titanium will drive her home, get her close. All right, got my pinion snug down, nice and snug, no in play. Turns really freely, but has solid resistance, if that makes sense. Like, you should be able to grab this. If you guys doing this at home, I guess maybe that's why I'm making the point that, like, yes, I use special tools to put it together, but also sometimes I don't, if I don't feel like I need it. I will have to measure my backlash and stuff. There's no way around that unless it just gets in there and I feel it and it's just ideal, but tighten it until you have all the slack out of your bearings. And then you should have a nice smooth, like I'm having to put a little effort in to turn this. Like it's not gonna really free spin, but it's very simple to spin, but it's not gonna be like zing. And also I have grease or trans gel packed on the bearings, so little resistance there, but that is silent and smooth. Okay, I just knocked my pinion races on. We'll put just a little bit of trans gel stuff on there so the bearing's not dry, and we are almost ready to put this in. Hammer, tap our shim in there. Careful tapping these shims because they will crack. They are just little cast shims, and if they crack and they get in there, then you're pissed. Also keep up with your side shims when you take it apart. Make sure they go back on the same side you took them out of. Otherwise, you have no starting point. Because I'm explaining this to a lot of you guys. You might be doing this in your driveway, doing this in your garage with no crazy special tools to measure stuff. So, like this truck, we got it tore apart. We basically just had a bearing failure. That was our slop in the pinion. We ate a bearing up. So we know at one point this rear end was fine. Like somebody rebuilt it, it was good for a while. So if you have a rear end that just had a bearing failure or something like that, most of the time, if you're not changing anything crazy, you can go right back with all of your shims and everything you had it, and it'll be very, very close to what you were. Minute adjustments, and that way you can at least put it back and hey, I know this rear end is exactly set up how it was. I didn't change gears, I didn't change any shims. If something's different, then we have like a different tolerance in a bearing. We might have to just do a little shimming because aftermarket bearing might be a slight different tolerance than the new one, but that's my stress, of just like, make sure you just put it exactly back like it was. Even if you got to go back something extreme different, you got to change your pinion shims, which that's going to be a rare case, especially if you're not changing gear set. Like all we're doing is putting bearings in this. We're not changing much on the setup. There is some difference in tolerances and bearing manufacturers or whatnot, but for the most part, you're going to be good. So I'm going to draw this carrier on up, and then we can just give it a couple snugs with the impact, not final torquing it. Now let's see what kind of backlash we have. Oh, I can already tell that's about, let's see. I'm gonna put the dial indicator on it just for y'all, which I always do, but I'm gonna say that's I'm gonna say that's 12, maybe 14. The spec on an 8.8 is 8 to 12. So we're gonna put a dial indicator and we're gonna measure this little bit of rocking back and forth. What that slop is the play between the pinion gear and this gear meshed in there. That's how much we have. So if it's too tight, I was just explaining the matter off camera, if it's too tight and everything else seems fine, we can just simply move the ring gear this way, changing our shims, and we can move the ring gear away from the pinion, and that'll give us even more slack. If we have a lot of backlash, this is called your backlash, then we'll just simply move the carrier this way, which essentially all we're doing is moving the ring gear, meshing it tighter or looser. This is a kind of a better way. So you have this gear and then your pinion gear, they're meshed together. So right now you see that as we mesh together, there's no slop in my fingers. Anything gear-wise, if you go back and watch my manual transmission rebuild on our race car Ruby, tolerance, and I shimped, since we know that we're building that transmission to beat on it, I took all the tolerance out of the transmission. There's maybe a thou bearing tolerance, because imagine going between gears, even though this truck's an automatic, imagine just this slop, like say, okay, now I'm in neutral, as soon as I put it in drive, it goes clank, now it's in gear. Same with the manual transmission, every gear change, these gears are just clanging together. The less movement, you can free movement to where it's not a hard contact when they mesh together. Even if it's just like a little thousandths, if you can keep them nice and tight, they seem to be happier for longer. I like to set my differentials up tighter than loose. So we're gonna get the dial indicator and see if my calibrated eyeball and hands are correct. All right, y'all, trying to set my dial indicator up here. Oh, Dad with the calibrated eyeball, pretty good. That says, that's basically 1, not quite back to 0, to 12. That's 11. What'd I tell y'all? 12 to 14? Don't question me. Don't question my methods. There it is, proof. I'm gonna set it right on 0. That's 11. Our spec is 8 to 12. I would like it a little tighter, but I'm not doing it over 3 thou. Don't question my methods, y'all. Okay, so I had left the Ford place, chasing, this guy approached me with this pipe dream job, and I was gullible enough at the time to take it. Anyways, I was working for a cell phone tower company doing their fleet maintenance. That quickly, I knew walking in the door, I done screwed up. And I took a job at this local shop that used to be in downtown Ackworth. Seemed like a good old school vibe. So I get to work in there. The first thing I do, there's this other younger kid. I was younger at the time. This has been a long time ago. This other young kid. He was probably 20 years old. First job I get, a diff build. Now keep in mind, I was already a dealership tech. I've been building rear ends for a while now, right? I was like, yeah, man, I know how to build rear ends. He's like, are you sure you know how to build rear ends? I was like, yeah, man. Well, we have this and this. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I have this or this. He's like, well, do you have your own setup tools? I'm like, yeah, dude, I have setup tools. Well, are you sure you have setup tools? I'm like, bro, I got, like, what do you need? He's like, do you use a dial indicator? We put everything together with a dial indicator here at the shop. I'm like, yeah, bro, I got dial indicator. Well, if you don't, then you know, the owner's real weird about borrowing stuff. I'm like, bro, do you need to see my tools? Turned out, he needed to see them. So I started busting out rear end tools and all this, and dial indicator and bearing race drivers and dial calipers and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, okay, I guess you know how to build rear ends. Okay, so feeling good, rotates good, everything is nice and happy in here. Get over here so we can get our pin in. Now I'm just going to slide these axles out, replace axle bearings and seals. I'll show you one side. I've got a special, most people know what it is, axle bearing puller. It goes in the housing, so it's a little better light on this side, so we'll do this side first. First things first, before you even slide the axle all the way out, clean all of this. Look how nasty that is. So just clean it somewhat, so it's a nice fresh place. It gets brake dust, especially a drum brake truck like this. So let me grab my bearing remover. So all right, let's get these axle bearings out. You guys seen these axle puller tools? If you've not, then it'll be a mind-blowing tool for you. Swivels like that. Put it in the housing. Twist it around until it locks in there. And take your slide hammer. Oh, it's tough. It's not anything with a slide hammer always kind of sucks. Knocking axle bearings in. Standard race driver, no biggie. All right, I got our rig back on the ground, got the correct axle seals in it, got it full of fluid, all that good stuff. We're back on the ground. So in the morning, because it's getting late, we'll do our AC, See, it's got a delete pulley on it. We'll do that, get our throttle body off, get our TPS replaced, and we'll go from there. Right now, I think I'm gonna go in and change my clothes, get me a little fitness, go for a run, and we'll pick you up in the morning on this rig. All right, next morning, back on the monster truck. Started doing the AC compressor, and I realized I don't have any bolts. So yeah, we got this block off plate, but I need some bolt. I'm gonna have to go get some hardware because those are gonna be way too short because the compressor needs a bolt this long. So I'm gonna go get some hardware. So I started working on getting the throttle body off, really cut and dry, no big deal. I've got it right over here. There's our throttle body. And I don't know if you told you earlier in the video, it was oil dripping out of our TPS. Well, I don't know if this is all of our problem, but it ain't supposed to be leaking oil. So you can imagine that's probably not good for the little potentiometer in there. So we're gonna get our TPS on there, set it, and I think while I got the throttle body off, we'll probably go ahead and put an IAC motor on it, or at least clean it. They're problematic anyways. Like I said, I even told the customer, I'm not sure if this is all that's wrong with this truck, but we have to do this to start. I know the TPS saturated, literally dripping in oil is not gonna help, and we had TPS voltage codes. So I'm gonna get in and put in a TPS on it. We'll get it plugged back up and set the voltage on it, what it's supposed to be, and we'll go from there. All right, I got my new TPS installed, and we're idling. This is dead cold. I just cranked it, and it's staying running. So before you had to crank it 4 or 5 times, give it some throttle input. So I think we got it fixed up. At least it's idling right now. Let's see if it stalls when we put it in gear. Seems to be happy. We got our check engine light off. I'm gonna pull it down in gear, see if it stalls. That was a big problem before. Hey, look at us. I think his brake light is the switch on the master cylinder. Going to drive. All right. Got this thing. Got her fixed up. Shut it off. Cranks right up, idles great. Hey, I'm happy as crap about that. Okay, that makes me super happy. Now, I guess I'm gonna have to run to the parts store, the hardware store, and find me some bolts for my AC compressor. I'm gonna dig through all my bolt bins again, see if I can find something, or see if I got something somewhere, but yeah, bear with me. Let me find some hardware for our AC compressor, and we one step getting this thing out of here, man. You're gonna have a nice rear end, no more chattering, all that stuff. Runs good, this kid's gonna be happy. Our new AC compressor bolted up. I actually found a couple of studs. I'm trying to find at least one. Really need to find 2 more. I found me 2 studs, 2 nuts. I can get the compressor bolted on the truck, got the belt on. AC lines all hooked back up, compressor's plugged up. This is AC high side line hooked back up. Looks like, I think I've got some 134 conversion fittings. Looks like we're gonna need that. Yeah, throttle body all back together. So yeah, I'm gonna continue putting this back together. I'm gonna start digging. Just want to get that on there. I found something to hold it on. I'll find me a set of 4 matching bolts to put in it, and we'll go from there. But for now, I just want to get the system charged, make sure everything's working, because the truck, I've seen, came in with an AC delete and the old compressor in the back of the truck, so I have no idea if the rest of the system works. I see it's still got our 12 fittings on it, so it's not been charged in a long time, so we have no idea what else we're going to find, what else might work, what else might not work. All right, I got the AC machine hooked up, pulling it down. Solid vacuum. With any luck, it ought to have cold AC. I'm out of Freon in the machine, so I'm waiting on them to bring me a Freon cylinder, and we'll charge the system up, see if it blows cold. It ought to be pretty good. Runs great. Hopefully everything, all the sensory and all that stuff, switches, sensors, all that stuff is still good on the truck. So we'll see. Like I said, compressor was off of it when we got it, so we have no clue what else we might need. Hopefully just a compressor and some Freon and it'll be cold. Well, I finally got some Freon for the machine. Got the system charged up, and well, where did it go? Well, orifice tube was completely stopped up. Look at all the, it's not even, well, sorry, I thought I had kept the rest of the pieces that I blew apart, but you can see like it's just, that's supposed to be a screen. That's part of the side of the orifice tube. It's supposed to be a screen. You can see it's plugged, and that's how it was. I should have filmed it, but it turned into a mess. I had to dig it out with a pick and then take a drill bit and drill down into the center of the orifice tube down inside there so I could grab something and pull it out. So I got that, and I've got a Freon mess everywhere. So I'm just waiting on, now I'm waiting on O'Reilly's to bring me an orifice tube, and we'll be dialed. I got 134 conversion fittings on it. yeah, it was all charged up. AC was working, everything come on, but it wasn't cold, and it was just kicking on and off, kicking on and off, kicking on and off. And by my pressures, I could tell I had some sort of a blockage, so I went straight to the orifice tube. Yeah, what do you know? Yeah, see, here's more pieces where I had to blow it all apart. I'll try to find that really. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. There you go. That's a good. That's supposed to be a clear screen, y'all. It's around. I'll show you what. If you're not familiar, this is a GM style one, but there's an intact orifice tube. So yeah, this is supposed to be just all clean. The old compressor came apart. This is either compressor guts or from that decadent bag. I'm not sure. I'm going to stick an orifice tube in it, charge it up, see if the system's working. I'm not going to go too crazy over repairing, over diagnosing. Just trying to get it up and running for right now. The AC was kind of not a huge concern, but was a concern if we get it going cheap and easy with just a compressor since it was missing. But I'm not sure if the customer's going to want to spend a pile of money going through the AC system. So if I can just get it up and running right now with a fresh orifice tube, hopefully it'll catch any other debris that was left in there. I blew the lines out good. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm rambling on. I'm waiting on a freaking orifice tube. About to hit me a workout while I'm waiting on this, and then I'll stick the orifice tube in it and we'll finish the video out. Oh yeah, the old monster trucks. Yeah, I'm going to put it on pause while I'm waiting on orifice tube and do me some fitness. I got any fitness guys out there? Any of y'all old dudes doing some calisthenics? I found calisthenics probably 10 plus years ago. Got way out of shape in my mid 30s and was way overweight, had blood pressure problems, cholesterol problems, and my doctor basically told me, well, you know, you can start taking medicine today, every day, for the rest of your life, or you can get your crap together and get back in shape. So I heeded that advice, and I started running, walking, and I found calisthenics, and I fell in love with it, man. You can do a workout anywhere. Anytime, full body, no equipment, no nothing. Maybe I'll start adding some on here. I'm just talking about it because I would love to see any of my older guys getting their stuff together, getting healthy for your family, healthy for yourself. Anyways, I'm rambling on, so I'm about to hit me a workout. Just a general, we'll go into a little bit of some workout stuff today. Today, the workout is going to be, my warm-up is squats and jump rope skips. I love my jump rope. See, I got Olympic rings here. We got a pull-up bar here. I got a dip station over there. So today, what I'm gonna get into, give you the quick rundown of the old workout here. Yeah, I got a Chevrolet in here. I'm waiting on parts for, we got a shop full. Squats and jump rope skips. I'll do 100 rope skips, 50 squats, 100 rope skips, 50 squats. No, not 50 squats, my bad, I'm losing it. 100 rope skips and 20 squats, 5 times. So I'll do 100 rope skips, straight into 20 squats, straight into 100 rope skips, back and forth 5 times, no rest in between. 100 jump rope skips, straight into 50 squats, straight back into 100, so on and so on. You do that 5 times. So rope skips, squats as a pair for 5 times. After that, that's my warm up. Then I love EMOMs. Every minute on the minute, EMOM. So I'll set my clock for 10 minutes. Today I'm gonna do 2 EMOMs, a 10-minute pull-up and a 10-minute burpee. I love me some burpees. I know everybody hates burpees, but bro, let me tell you, it's the best overall exercise that you can do whole body. Tons of core engagement. It's cardio if you do it right. So first of all, rope skips, squats. Then we're gonna jump on the pull-up bar for a 10-minute EMOM. I'm gonna do 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute. So as soon as I hit the button on the timer, start the clock, hit 10 pull-ups. Starts at 10, then counts down, you hit your pull-ups, you have a little bit of a rest. 9-minute clock comes around, you hit 10 more. 8 minutes comes around, you hit 10 more. The faster and more efficient you can do it, you get more rest between rounds. Okay, so we're gonna do that 10-minute EMOM. After that, I'm gonna do 10-minute burpee EMOM. 10 burpees every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. That's 100 burpees. I love burpees. I do the crap load of burpees. I'm a burpee guy. After that, I'm gonna do a pyramid. On the rings over here, you see the rings behind me? I'll do rings, ring pulls, underhand. So my pull-ups, I'm gonna do regular overhand pull-ups. And when I get on the rings, I'll do underhand ring pulls and regular dips. I'll get my dip station out. I'll show you a little video of that. Hang it up here on the wall, out of the way. It's just regular. I think I got it from Academy Dip Station. I'll do for that workout, it's a pyramid. So we're gonna go 1 to 10 to 1. With the only rest between those is the number of, you count for the number of reps you just did. So my first set will be 1 ring pull up, 1 dip, 1 second rest. Second will be 2 ring pull ups, 2 ring dips, 2 second rest in between. So on, so on. So the next one will be 3. So I'll hit 3 underhand pulls. I'll count to 3. Then I'll hit 3 dips. Then I'll count to 3. Then I'll do 4 pulls. Do my 4 underhand ring pulls. Then I'll slowly count to 4 in my head. Then I'll hit me 4 dips all the way to 10. So when you get to 10, you get a 10-second count, 10-second rest between the reps. So go alt 1, put 1 to 10, back down to 1, doing 10 twice. That's 105 reps. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. And it's a lot of your smaller numbers. Like, it's not that big a deal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pulls and dips. You're not that fatigued. By the time you get to 10, you're getting pretty fatigued. So that's the workout. Squats, jump rope, 5 rounds, 100 jump rope skips, 20 squats. Then we're gonna go into a 10-minute EMOM pull-up, straight up pull-ups, overhand grip, 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. We're gonna go straight into a burpee EMOM, 10 burpees every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. Then the 1 to 10 to 1 pyramid with underhand ring pulls and dips. Okay, now that I've told you all about the workout session, I know I but I make comments about working out every once in a while. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I'm not no big, huge, buffed up fitness meathead dude. I just like to do fitness, for my health. If you get a good physique as a side effect, then that's strictly a side effect. Your workout should be about your health, and everything else will fall in place. Like, if you're working out and you're training because you want to be healthy and you want to better your body, then your training is going to go a long way. If you start working out just because, like, man, I want to get pumped up, I need to get my arms big, I want to get this or that big, your results may not be what you're looking for, because then you're going to start wanting to grow and take supplements and all this and that. No. And actually, I'm rambling on. We're talking about workouts, so just settle in with me. I know for the longest time you've seen me hitting up Muscle Milk for a sponsor. I don't know. I've read some stuff that it might not be the absolute best thing for someone to be drinking day to day or taking. It puts a lot of inflammation in your body, and it's all artificial. It's all processed. Nothing against Muscle Milk or any protein shakes anywhere. I know dudes take them and drink them everywhere. I've drinking one every day for a long time, or at least every other day, mostly every day. Thinking about cutting it out, see if it's any better. I've just heard some controversial talk and been reading some stuff. I watch a lot of fitness stuff on YouTube. So anyways, yeah, let's get our workout done, and maybe we'll have an orifice tube in a little while, and I can show you the end result of the truck. We'll go drive the monster truck down the road with cold AC and all that stuff. Finally got my monster truck fixed up. I had initially put just the compressor on it because you've seen it was missing, had the delete pulley. That didn't fix it. I pulled the orifice tube out and it was completely stopped up. What had happened, the accumulator had came apart. It's got what they call a decadent bag in there, and it had stopped the orifice tube up, and a couple of lines were stopped up, so I should have filmed it, but I just got in it and got it working. New accumulator, new orifice tube, blew the lines out, blew the condenser out, blew the evaporator out. Everything's clean. It's blowing cold now. The compressor is short cycling. I'm gonna have to dial in the charge, because when you go from R12 to 134, there's no exact gauge. It's roughly 80% of the charge with R134. So I feel like I have to top it off just a little bit, but I'm gonna go drive this thing, see how it does. It runs great, it starts cold, but when it first came here, you crank it cold, it would not stay idling, it would put it in gear, it would go dead. So runs good, cranks cold. So yeah, AC is in there blowing cold, but I hear the compressor. It's actually not that hot right now, so I'll go drive it, see if it stops short cycling. I'll dial in the charge from there, and but yeah, let's take this thing down the road. Okay, I jumped in this thing. God, look how tall this truck is. Like, anybody need a bike off the Raptors up here? Well, let me know. I got you. I can just grab it. This thing is a monster. AC is ripping. It is cold. Well, let's see. Driveway was a little full, so we'll take the road less traveled. Tires rub a little bit. We're just cruising. AC is chilling, going down the road. I want to make sure it cools good going down the road. A lot of these old systems won't, but this one is seems pretty good. Okay, 93 F-150 monster truck, little Bigfoot, whatever you want to call him, big red. I've been enjoying it driving it. Me and Brantley goofing in it. Cool truck. Got it running good, driving good. Rear end is quiet, no more shuddering when he takes off. AC is super cold. I'm gonna, now that it's hot, I feel like the compressor quit short cycling, but I'm gonna double check the charge again, make sure it's dialed in. It was freezing cold inside the truck. It's kind of fun working on this thing. It literally barely fits in the shop, but we got it done. Big old truck, runs great. Probably one thing I'm gonna recommend him do, this is his son's truck, is it's kind of costly, but it needs a set of gears. It's on, everything is bone stock, pulling around this 38-inch tire. It really needs a gear. This old 5.0 is not quite up to the task. She's a little weak. But anyways, thanks for hanging out with us, wrenching on this old monster truck. Another rad Ford coming out of the shop here. You know how we do around here. Hit the like button. Dude, make sure you're subscribed. It costs you nothing. Click the button. Like before you start playing the video, just move your, click it. It costs you nothing, no effort. Hook us up. It's a big deal to us. So appreciate all y'all watching, hanging around. Drop some good comments. We'll get in there with you. Most importantly, stay the raddest.